The crash came with no warning and no sound in space, just a sudden jerk and a scream from the engines and then silence. Captain Alara Quinn opened her eyes to a dim red glow inside the escape pod. The systems were failing, the oxygen was low, and the beacon was broken. Her ship, the Pathfinder 1, had been struck by debris near Sector 83 and had torn apart like paper in the void. She had no idea if anyone else had survived. The pod landed hard on a dry, lifeless world. Sand stretched in every direction, and jagged rocks pierced the orange sky. The sun hung heavy above the horizon, unmoving like a judgment from the stars. Alara crawled out of the pod, her suit, scorcher breath shallow. She looked around and found nothing but dust and death. But she was not alone. A shape moved among the rocks. Tall, lean, covered in armor unlike anything human. Its skin was silver with streaks of dark blue, and its eyes glowed a pale green. It was not a creature she had seen before. It was not listed in any Earth Alliance records. The alien approached with caution. It raised both hands, showing they were empty. Alara raised her arm, but her weapon had been lost. She was too tired to fight. "I will not harm you." The alien said, its voice strained, but understandable through the universal translator. "I am Kale of the Mirakai." Alara nodded slowly. "I am Alara Quinn, Earthship Captain." Kale looked to the broken pod. "You fell as I did. My craft is also destroyed. I crashed beyond that ridge days ago." They stood in silence, two strangers breathing the same dead air. Alara spoke again. "You speak my language. I listen. I learn." Together they built shelter from the remains of her pod and the shell of Kale's suit. The days passed in slow agony. The planet had no name and no signs of life. Water came from underground condensation. Food was rationed from emergency packs, and Kale's supplies, which were strange but edible. They slept under stars that never changed. Each day they searched for a way off. Each day they failed. Over time, silence gave way to speech. Alara learned that Kale was a scout from the Mirakai Expanse, searching for habitable zones. He had been alone for a long time. His people were distant, proud, and wary of humans. They believed Earthlings brought ruin wherever they went. Alara had nothing to say to that. She could not deny it. She told him about Earth, about its wars, its ambition, its wonder. She spoke of the oceans and cities, the gravity, and the taste of rain. Kale listened always with still eyes. In the third cycle, a storm hit. Winds that screamed through stone, lightning that danced like fire. Their shelter was torn apart. Alara was thrown against the rocks, her suit damaged, her arm broken. Kale found her half buried and unconscious. He carried her back to the cave they had found days before and used his knowledge of healing to mend the bone with light and pressure. He stayed beside her through the night, his hands never leaving her pulse. She woke to find him holding her hand. "I thought I would die," she whispered. "You did not," he said. The barrier between them broke that night. No words were spoken. There was only the silence of shared survival, the rhythm of breath, the closeness of skin. They were alone in a world that had forgotten time, and so they became each other's world. Alara never meant for it to happen, but the warmth of connection, the aching loneliness had worn her down. She did not love Kale, not in the way songs and stories described, but she trusted him. She saw the pain in his eyes when he spoke of home. She felt safe with him in a place where nothing was safe. Weeks passed. The stars remained the same. One morning she woke with a sickness in her stomach. She thought it was bad food or water, but the days turned into more sickness, more weakness. Kale watched her closely. He scanned her body with his medical tool and then looked at her with wide eyes. "There is life," he said. She stared at him. "What do you mean?" "You carry a child." "Our child." She laughed at first, a dry, empty sound. Then she cried. Tears fell silently onto the cold stone floor. "This should not be possible," she whispered. Kale looked down. "It is not common, but it is not forbidden." Alara touched her stomach. It felt unreal. "I do not know what to do," she said. "We survived," Kale replied. From that moment, Kale changed. He became more careful, more protective. He built better shelter. He searched for food twice as far. He sang songs in his language that she did not understand but felt deep in her bones. The pregnancy moved faster than a human one. In just weeks her belly grew, and with it the weight of what was coming. Ilara dreamed of Earth, but always woke to sand and silence. She dreamed of her mother, her crew, the stars. She dreamed of the child and saw eyes that glowed like Kale's. In the seventh cycle, the distress beacon sparked back to life. Kale had rebuilt it using pieces from both their ships. It blinked weakly, sending a signal into the void. Hope returned like a ghost. "We may be found," Kale said. Ilara nodded, but her thoughts were no longer clear. Would Earth accept her back? Would they take the child? Would they separate her from Kale? Would they kill him? "I am scared," she said. "I am too," he replied. One night the pain began, sharp and sudden. Kale helped her through it with steady hands and quiet words. She screamed into the stone walls, but no one came. After hours of agony, the child was born. Small, perfect, with soft purple skin and eyes that flickered between blue and green. Ilara held the baby close. Her child. Their child. Kale stood beside her, unmoving. He reached out and touched the baby's head. "I never thought I would see this day," he said. Neither did she. A week later the signal was answered. A human rescue ship appeared in the sky, like a burning angel. It landed near the ridge engines, shaking the ground. Ilara and Kale stood at the edge of their cave, holding the child between them. "I will go with you," Kale said. "You do not have to," she replied. "I must. Our child is not only yours or mine. It is of two worlds." When the rescue team arrived, they were stunned. They saw the woman they had searched for. They saw the alien. They saw the baby. There were questions. Too many. But Ilara answered them all. Back on Earth, the news exploded. A human woman had survived alone with an alien, had formed a bond, had given birth. Some called her a hero. Others called her unnatural. Kale was kept under surveillance, but allowed to remain by her side. Scientists asked to study the child. Military officials wanted tests. But Ilara refused. "This is not a weapon," she said, holding her baby close. "This is hope." Kale stood behind her, as always silent, strong, present. Together they faced the storm. In time the world moved on. The child grew healthy and bright, with features from both parents and a spirit of quiet fire. Ilara named him Orion. They never returned to that lifeless planet, but they never forgot it. It was where everything ended, and where everything began.